that's the grey. Now we're going to put a bit of blue in. Just here and there. A bit of blue sky coming in through here. A bit of blue up there. And we'll have, I tell you what we'll do, we'll have a little blue, that bit there that I was looking at earlier. We'll have a little bit of blue sky there, so we can make something of that later on. That's all I want up there. A bit more maybe. Yeah. Some of that blue going behind the trees, but not all. Now in this case I don't do any more to the tree line. Now this is where it all starts, the magic starts to appear now. Here. Now I'm pressing quite hard in round circular movements. The fact that I put a brilliant base on that, which you saw, gives me the opportunity of blending this colour right into the paper. And we might really be surprised at the end of it how nice it actually looks without doing too much more work to it. This is great fun, really good fun. It's also hard work because you're concentrating and focusing on this. The fact that you've sort of that grey is intermittent gives you that same kind of feel you'll get if you had a cloud. Now here we've got an interesting thing. If I carried on with that, I'm going to spoil the blue, so what I'm going to do is use my other finger here just to put that blue in. Okay, now back to the original one. We can enhance all of this. Now I think you'll agree that that already is looking rather nice. Get blue in there. I contaminated with the other finger now, so if I use the blue there, it would be a little, that finger, it would have contaminated the blue too much. Okay, now what do I think of that so far? Well, I think that looks gorgeous, doesn't it? I mean, and that's early days yet. So what we now do, we look at it and think, well, what do we do now? Do we enhance that blue? Let's see if we can make that blue just a little better. Now, what we can do now, you can do two things. You can use your finger again, or we can use a coloured shaper. Now, let me show you. We've got two colour shapers we're using at the moment. We started using when I had those two children that I did. And what I want to do is I'm going to clean up both of them, because I've got red on there from the last picture. Okay, what I'm going to do, I'm going to try, first of all, I'm experimenting here. I'm going to try with my very soft one first. Let's see whether that works. I need a bit more there actually. Now the blue I'm using is 140. Not 143, which I normally do use. Let's see what that looks like. I'm hoping that that's going to be as good as using my finger, because the finger is the very best blender. Let's just see. Yeah, that's not bad. So put a bit more on, and then we can say, okay, let's leave that blue alone. Like that. You see, we've even got a little cloud there that we can pick up on later on. So there's the blue in the sky. Let's find some more. Let's find a little bit more that we used earlier. I don't want too much blue. I want it to be either grey, Because you notice the cows, some are sitting down, some are standing up. And there's a wife's tale probably. I don't know whether it's an old wife's tale or not, but if a cow is sitting down, it signifies that it's going to either going to rain or not going to rain. I can't remember what it is now, but there is one. So I couldn't make my mind up when I put the cows in. So I thought, I know, we'll have it half and half. We'll have threatening rain, but still dry, if you see what I mean. Oh, see how nice that looks now. That does look nice. Like that. And we'll... I did say there was two, and you could use this one too. This would work equally as well. So if you haven't got the other one, use that one. In fact, I'll use both. Now remember what we're doing here. We're not putting cloud in. We're actually putting the blue sky in. The cloud is on the other side of this. Now ordinarily I do skip through a sky quite quickly on my other landscapes that you've had, but this one, let's just go back, because I've got a feeling that might even be a better. It's a stronger colour shaper than the white one, so it might even be better. Anyway, we continue with it. In all other mediums, skies are tricky. Watercolour particularly difficult. Very hard to get looking. Pastel pencils is a piece of cake. The reason it's a piece of cake is because if I didn't like any of this, all I've got to do is rub it out. But I do quite like it. Now, I did have a little bit in here one time. Let's just have a little poking through. Always change my mind if I don't like it later. No, I quite like that. Right, so far it's looking really good, isn't it? Now what we're going to do now is to put some more pressure on. So what I'm going to do is use 181. Now 181 is a Payne's Grey. This is going to be a little bit more powerful than what we've used so far, but what I want to do is to put some in like that, picking up what I've already got. You know, maybe I want that a little bit darker, and so on. So let's just see what that looks like before we go any further. In fact, I think what I'll do is I'll bring some around that blue too. Okay. You can't really use your finger now. I think what you could, if you haven't got one of these, you'd have to. But this is probably better now because you can get it a little stronger and a little more controlled. That's nice, yeah. See, had I got actually white under there, that would have been more difficult to control. Let me just use my finger a little bit. Was that just... yeah, that's good. That might be the answer then. Use the colour shaper to start with to push it into the paper. And then just bring your finger in, just to smooth it down a little bit. Oh, it looks good. Got the idea of that? Okay, well I'll do a little bit more, and then I'll advance it, and I'll also bring you a bit closer because I'm sure you'd like to see this done close up. Now you see the difference there, we've got that variation of colour there. A lot of this almost happens by accident. You can't say totally because you can see I've kind of worked it out slightly in advance. And remember, we've got colours to go back in. We can put white back in, we can put the greys back in, then we can put the ivories, which I'm going to be using later on, even a little bit of pink if you want to. But look how well this is coming up already. Isn't that good? Okay, let me take it a little bit further now, doing a few more dotted around. I'm not going to be too much dark, because I don't want to make it really dark, but it'll be a little bit more.